Welcome to Wealth Alchemy, the channel that turns everyday knowledge into golden opportunities. If you want to build real wealth, not just chase money, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and stay with me until the end. Because what I'm about to share is simple, but most people will never follow it. And that's exactly why most people never become wealthy. Let me ask you something. If getting rich was really about finding the next big stock, or timing the perfect investment, then why are most people still struggling financially? Why do people keep jumping from one opportunity to another, but never seem to get ahead? Because they are playing the wrong game. They are chasing outcomes instead of building systems. And today, I'm going to show you one of the simplest systems ever created for building wealth. A system that doesn't rely on luck, doesn't require intelligence, and doesn't need perfect timing. But it does require one thing most people don't have: patience. What if I told you you don't need to find the next Tesla? You don't need to buy crypto at the perfect time. You don't need insider knowledge, and you don't need to be smarter than everyone else to build real wealth. What if the real strategy is actually this? Own the entire market. Not one company, not one idea, but everything. The S&Amp 500 represents the 500 largest companies in the United States. When you invest in it, you are not guessing which company will win. You are saying, I believe the world will continue to grow. You are buying into innovation, technology, productivity, and human progress. Think about that. Every time a company improves, every time a new technology is created, every time businesses become more efficient, you benefit. Not because you picked the winner, but because you owned the system. Now here's something important. The S&Amp 500 does not look impressive. It doesn't double overnight. It doesn't make headlines every day. It quietly grows. On average, around 8 to 10% per year. And most people hear that and immediately lose interest. Because they think, that's too slow. But let me show you why that thinking is dangerous. Imagine two people. Person A is constantly chasing opportunities. Crypto, stocks, business ideas, trading, always looking for the next big win. Person B does something boring. Every month, no matter what, he invests consistently into the S&Amp P500. No excitement, no guessing, no drama, just discipline. After 1 year, person A might look smarter. After 2 years, person A might even be ahead. But after 10 years, everything changes. Because person A is constantly starting over. Winning some, losing some, resetting again and again. But person B never stopped. And that is the difference. Wealth is not built by being right once. It is built by not being wrong repeatedly. Now let's go deeper. Why does the S&Amp P500 work? There are 3 core reasons. First, growth. Companies are always improving. They are hiring smarter people, building better systems, creating better products. Second, inflation. Money loses value over time. So assets, like businesses, increase in price. And third, time. Time is the multiplier. Time is what turns small, consistent actions into massive outcomes. Without time, nothing works. With time, almost everything works. Now here's the strategy. And this is where most people fail. Because it sounds too simple. You invest every single month. Not when the market feels safe. Not when the news is positive. Not when your friend tells you. Every month. No matter what. When the market crashes, you invest. When everyone is afraid, you invest. When people say this time is different, you invest. Because the biggest mistake people make is waiting for certainty. But certainty only comes after the opportunity is gone. This strategy is called dollar cost averaging. And it is powerful because it removes emotion. You are no longer trying to be smarter than the market. You are simply participating in it. Let me be very clear. You will feel uncomfortable at certain times. You will see your portfolio drop. You will question your decisions. You will wonder if you should stop. That is normal. And that is exactly where most people quit. But if you understand this one idea, you will stay ahead. The market does not reward comfort. It rewards consistency. Now let's talk about reality. Can this make you rich in 5 years? No. And I'm telling you this because I don't want you to build false expectations. The first few years will feel slow, painfully slow. You will invest money and see very little change. And this is where your mindset matters most. Because most people stop right before it starts working. Between year 5 and 10, something begins to happen. Your returns start generating returns. Your money starts working for you. And after that, it accelerates. This is the part most people never reach. Not because it doesn't exist, but because they quit too early. Now let me connect this to real life. Most people think wealth comes from big actions. A big deal. A big investment. A big opportunity. But in reality, wealth comes from small actions repeated consistently. The person who invests every single month will outperform the person who tries to be smart. Every time. Now let's talk about behavior. Because this is where everything breaks. People don't fail because of bad strategies. They fail because of bad decisions under pressure. When the market drops, they stop investing. When prices fall, they panic. When others are making money, they chase. And when things go wrong, they quit. And every time they do that, they reset their progress. Again and again. Discipline is not about doing something big. It is about doing something small even when you don't feel like it. Now here's the Wealth Alchemy insight. The S&AMP. 500 is not meant to make you rich fast. It is meant to make you rich safely. If you want speed, you take risk. If you want certainty, you take time. The problem is, most people want both. And that's why they end up with neither. If you combine this strategy with strong cash flow, with patience, and with a long-term mindset, you don't need to gamble. You don't need to chase. You don't need to stress. You just need to stay in the game. Because in the end, wealth is not about who is the smartest. It is not about who is the fastest. It is about who lasts the longest. The market rewards those who stay, those who continue, those who don't break when things get uncomfortable. So if you remember one thing, remember this. The goal is not to get rich quickly. The goal is to become financially unbreakable. And once you reach that point, wealth becomes inevitable. If this changed the way you think, hit the like button, subscribe to Wealth Alchemy, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes, the simplest path is the one that leads the furthest. And if you stay consistent, your future will take care of itself.